That's part of the scriptures. Pay y'all time, brothers.
Right. And it takes a little second sometimes. Just make sure we got sound and video. Somebody check GMS Chicago on their live too. Once we know judgment shall come. Scripture is out. Somebody check GMS Chicago on there too. Did somebody check GMS Chicago?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen that look like the heathen, and to the Yaquaf that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. We're the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch of Chicago, and we got the mighty brothers from the Cleveland camp, and an emissary from Gary camp. Right. So with that, we're just gonna go right into this lesson, and as you see, we named it curses falling upon Esau, and the curse is coming for Esau. So you got these Edomites that are complaining about what's going on in America. Well, they can blame their own ungodly father.
So tired of it.
You got a scripture, brother?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw you raise your hand.
No.
But yeah, matter of fact, is that Jeremiah 30? Is it, or is it Deuteronomy 30? Yeah. Oh, God, let's stop with that mouth shot.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7. It says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Yeah, and so it's actually quite refreshing to me to see, Becky and the rest of her brethren struggling like they're struggling.
That's right.
It really is.
Look out.
And they are having a hard time. Even the ones that are, it's just like she said. We're gonna play the video, but it's just like she said. There's becoming just the rich and then the working poor, because the middle class is disappearing. They clearly are disappearing. You got something? Bring it out, brother.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, so rulership of this earth, all right, it basically is saying it's translated from one people to another because of the way that they rule, because of unrighteous dealings. And before the kingdom is translated from one people to another, you have the telltale signs of the downfall of that particular kingdom. That's right. And that is what's going on today. We see the telltale signs in that this kingdom and the powers that be and that their nation is divided against one another. All right. And so all these curses ultimately is going to come upon them. And just the way that they rule is an ingredients for a downfall.
It's fitting them like a coat.
Yeah.
Like a fitted. They measured it. They went to see the dude who measured the neck.
Custom fit.
They get a tailor-made, coat of suffering now. They wearing that shit.
That's
And
it.
this is Psalm.
And it says how they fit it for destruction.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Tailor-made. This is Psalms 91, and I'll start off with 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Right now, what we're about to watch, and what we have seen in reality, is Esau is losing. Keisha is losing. The other heathen nations are losing.
Yeah.
All right, all across the
that proud Western woman.
Yes.
Somebody get Isaiah 32 on deck and hold it. That proud, because not just Keisha, but these women in general. These, I don't need no man well-to-do. I can do what you do. Women, that's beginning to break and destroy them. Look, I went on a dating site, not looking for dates at all. I was just curious because I've never been on one, and I actually, and this brother will bear witness. I tried to like stop the shit.
We unlogged out.
And he unlogged out, and every day I get 20 to 25 messages from women, and then they're like, "Why are you not responding? Why, I see you looked at me, but is something wrong?" And, I mean, it's crazy. The amount, it's non-stop. And guess what? The majority of them is Becky.
Yes.
Because there's a few nigga women on there too, but they just coming non-stop. And I realized that I didn't know. This shit is new to me. I've never done it. I didn't know that when you look, if someone clicks on, if you click on something or look at something, they're notified that you looked. And so me not responding to them is fucking them up. And I have a blank profile. So they're like, we have a lot in common. I'm like, you don't even know my name. You ain't seen what I look like. Nothing. These bitches are desperate, man. They losing.
And they've been so.
They're losing, and most of them are most of them because I put in the whole age thing. So the youngest one was like, actually I saw 129, but normally they come in at like in their 40s and early, early to late 40s, maybe late 30s. But these were even a couple women that were older than that, and I'm like, damn, wait a minute, you got kids, you've been married, where your husband at? Why are you 40-something years old, 50-something years old, 60 years old? Looking to start for a new man. Why did you leave the man that you were with that actually loved you, cared for you, or whatever, even if he treated you like shit? He still loved you more than the next nigga who gonna just want to give you the dick and keep it moving.
These people,
so they losing, man. And so a lot of them in a position that she's in, because once we're gonna play this and then bring out your brother scriptures and what I call for. Because this woman here, she's giving testimony of the struggle she's having, but she's really giving testimony that she fits the narrative of what I just described. Because she didn't once mention her husband at all.
And to prove it, she said they had to go work to get there where they at. So now she's supposed to be where she needs to be. Well, if you were so well off where you need to be, why you didn't just pay that forward to your children? Why you sit there sighing crap about what your kids ain't got when you supposed to be got something? If you did if the American dream worked so well for you and you're an Edomite, why don't you do the same thing these trust fund babies, daddies and mamas been doing and putting them on?
Because you ain't fall up.
And because she ain't on. She living paycheck to paycheck just like everybody else.
Let it play, bro.
Oh yeah, she still had a mortgage.
Yes.
She finna die.
Yeah, yes. She said that her daughter got the same amount of loan as she got.
Right.
Right.
So that's what they're talking about, the Fed hikes. This shit is about to implode. America's done. How you get the same loan that your mother got, the same exact amount, but your payments is double? So her daughter gonna be fucked and end up losing that place.
Right.
Because why she trying to buy a place? If she had a man, it would be easier. All right.
Also, they followed the scriptures. It'd be easier. Why you were so independent? You left your mother's house before you was established. The scriptures say a man leave his mother and father's house when you get a wife. But in America, they teach you when you're 18, get the fuck out of here, work to be independent.
Go to college.
Yeah.
Go get into debt.
Basically, go to slut school, because that's all college in the military is. Because she said that about herself. So I already know what happened. So you had a whole bunch of husbands before you had children.
Yep.
All right. So
this whole American system is contrary to the scriptures.
It's contrary to what's godly.
Even when them Nigerians come over here, even Issachar, when Mexicans come over here, they had 2 or 3 generations in the crib. Then when they get married, they leave the crib. They actually got some money, so they can get their own crib. Do the same thing with their children. Esau don't push that vibration out there, man.
No.
And that's why everybody's fucking poor. This shit is just backwards.
That's right.
But there's a big business in poverty in America.
Yeah.
That's big business.
Come, go ahead and play it real quick, then we can let these scriptures roll out.
My kids are grown adults. I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Work for me, why would it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling. And before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled. But there's a difference between struggling and drowning. All right? So we struggled. It was tough. But you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point. All right? When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour. And I can afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making six-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live. So what the fuck is going on, and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college, join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month?
Esau.
Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy, and then everybody else is just poor. Like, that's what is happening. And then I told him, hey, when you turn 25, at least your car insurance will go down. Hell no, he turned 25, and his car insurance went up $150. You know, if you have health insurance, get a good job. He did. He has health insurance. He has had a medical emergency this week. Had to go to the emergency room twice. A, he had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had. Right? So he had to go to an emergency room.
So pause it. Wait a minute. This motherfucker's paying into health insurance, and then he couldn't even use it when he needed it.
Right. We only pay for
But they're
emergency
taking that
business.
shit out his check. See,
Right.
this place is done. Yeah. It's done. That was enough on it, man. Real quick. First scripture, Isaiah 8:20. All right. This is why this place is failing. St. Benji said it. They're not following the Lord's plan.
That's right.
It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
That's right. I mean, you can't get, and they're not speaking according to this word. They're speaking to the word of Esau, Edom. And everything that they teach, everything that's regurgitated out of their mouth through every single generation is getting them more and more down the rabbit hole of misery. All right. And now, like the brother had mentioned, these curses are being translated from one king down.
Verse is Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord Yahweh, thy most high power God, will put all these curses upon thy enemies.
And the funny thing is, I was holding that, and that's the spirit. The Lord says he's going to put all these curses. If you go to the book of Deuteronomy 28, it tells you, curse shall thou be in the city, curse shall thou be in the field. So now for Miss Karen over here, Karen understands that you live in a suburb or you live in the city, it doesn't matter. You're going to be cursed. All right? Every single foundation, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. Now Esau started to get it. Go ahead.
And on
Just start that.
It's Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord Yahweh, thy most high power God, will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And hey, every last nation is getting this, man. I actually, when I've been driving around lately, doing Uber, I've been seeing a lot of East Indian homeless. Now you got some of them that just doing it to just get some money because that's the new hot thing. Fake like you homeless, got the baby with them in the thing with the sign saying, "Hey, we homeless, we need food," all of this. But you seeing it happening to all of these damn enemies.
You see, I have never before the last couple of years seen Arab women in a couple. I said, y'all go over there.
Edomites.
Yeah, Edomites.
And you start to see Ammon and Moab homeless as well.
And begging. I'm talking about with the kids. If you go over there by the Tinley Park, Orland Park, there's one family over there all the time, and they basically got the sign. They got little kids sitting on the side while the mom and dad going, begging. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see that. That's right there. And this corner is notorious. I remember you all remember the Edomite man who used to come over there all the time. Yeah. But the other different nations start coming on the hood because you know what? Jake might be poor and we might be struggling, but Jake got a heart and they got a soft spot, and they know that Jake will give them money. You go up north, you don't see the homeless begging Esau like that. They come over here to Jake. That's true.
Yeah. And some of these Edomites are realizing that it's cheaper to live in the hood. They're making their way back to it. That's it.
Anyway.
And like the brothers mentioned, South Shore. A lot of them are moving into South Shore. There's a lot of Edomites on it because they're realizing that they can get the lakefront living with the dormant, all them little high rises along South Shore Drive. A lot of them are moving into that, and some of them are moving on the other side, on the west side of South Shore Drive. Because literally, that's the divide place. Because you got Edomites on that other side of the street in those apartment buildings, some of those homes along right before you hit the park.
Right.
But they're starting to move into the hood.
That's right.
Right.
Toward with them lakeside folks and with them Terrytown. They started moving in there too. No, they ain't touching them right now, but they are. They will. But you'll see Becky walking in the 70s in Lakeside, where them Lakeside folks at, with a little dog in her Starbucks cup, a little coffee cup.
They over there in Bronzeville.
The
building I had, it was a group that bought it, but there's a lot of groups moving in over there. Yep. This is Psalm 73. And this is all about this, this is all Esau falling to his own pit, really, man.
Yeah, and the Lord set their ass up.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 10. 8, he that diggeth the pit shall fall into it, whoso breaketh the hedge, and serpent shall bite him.
She really has a worried look on her face. That was a perfect place to freeze it.
Yeah.
She's like concerned, like
all this shit.
I call it the old shit eyes.
Right.
She didn't have to see it. Her eyes are saying it.
Right.
Yeah. This mortgage crisis, all that shit they dealing with. This was all even the high rent. This shit is part of the oppression that Esau set up for niggas. You gotta remember, when niggas start moving in white neighborhoods, those loans have to be approved by bankers, white, rich, racist bankers, right? And the reason they did it was two things, all right? Because they was preying on, the niggas to default their loans, but also it was to make white flight. It was a TV show that touched on. It's called Us. What's the name of the scary movie?
Them was on Amazon Prime.
It's the show Them. Yeah, so it's Them. It's the show Them. So basically, because they even in the show, they showed that actually black people buy homes, the property value go up because niggas take care of shit when they buy it. That's that project shit. Niggas destroy shit. That's something different. But,
which is a creation of the so-called white man too. They show you that, and they clone Tyrone.
Yeah, but they
the nigga in America with that mentality, and that project mentality, and that destructive mentality. That is the creation of their scientific projects.
Yeah.
Because Jake was prosperous and doing well before they integrated and when they had their own neighborhoods before you burned them all down and destroyed them and then created welfare and all this other bullshit.
Had a sense of community and everything. But what happened is niggas are moving in, they preyed on them with the loans, knowing they generally, for the most part, would default. So that's one level. The second level is this man's such a devil. He preyed on his own people because he knew what? White flight would happen. Which means what? Now crackers are getting loans too to move to where they're going. And it became a cycle. All right? Crackers moved to the suburbs. The niggas want to go move to where the crackers at. They moved to the suburbs. The crackers moved back to the city. But now it got to the point where Esau controls your rent, your mortgages, and it's all at an all-time high.
It's all predatory lending.
Yeah, that's why I said predatory lending. Yep. That's why I said it's great business and oppression. It's in Psalm 73. And I start at 6. Damn, it's 5. They are not the troublers of the men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride can pass them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish, just the least. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. So they set up a corrupt system oppression is big business to them. High interest rates, all this is big money for them, man. They get your property, sell it over again.
You still on the hook for what you own.
Yeah, make somebody else pay so they can't pay no more, sell it again. Somebody else pays, they can't pay no more, sell it again. This one house that been sold 5 times, the bank that made $1 million off a $200,000 loan. Damn. Off a $100,000 loan.
And you really need to double that. Because when you go into the UCC code and the back of your birth certificate and the treasury bonds, etc., that has been pulled out on you, every single person in their strongman has a treasury account with the treasury. These banks and these companies, they'll sit there and they will you go pull out a mortgage, they go straight to your treasury and pull out the whole money. And then so they got paid. You paid them. Out of the money they're making off you that you don't even know that is in your name.
Yep.
And then They gonna tell you
or in your strawman name.
in your strawman
They're
name,
all
all
capital.
caps.
They're all capital letters that's on your driver's license or your social security number, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't spell your name with all capital letters. You know, so
You're the
capital
authorized
letters. So,
representative.
right. You exactly. So you're the authorized representative of the strawman that they created, and that strawman is sitting. You know,
Has money.
has money.
And they go and they'll go ahead and get that money and get paid. Then they'll come to you and say,
Charge you taxes off your own money.
right, you need to pay me.
Interest.
You need to pay me now for this $70,000 loan. You got to pay me $950 a month. So now you already paid it, but you don't know it. So now you humping to get Federal Reserve notes, which is not worth $1 in absolutely nothing.
So no.
All right, so it's debt. You got to go work on getting a whole bunch of debt to go pay that off, and then if you don't, they can come take it off, take your shit away when you already had paid for it.
And resell it. And this is
resell
Rock 14, and a $70,000 loan is you paying back at least $150,000.
Yes.
A lot of times, you're paying more interest than you actually pay on the principal. This is ridiculous. It's a Rock 14 and 3. Riches are not coming for a niggard, and that word niggard is a greedy man, selfish. All right. And what should an envious man do with money? He that gathers by defrauding his own soul, gather for others, that shall spend his goods wisely, which is going to come soon. Esau's going to lose everything he got. We're going to get to enjoy it. He done stole up gold, silver, on the other side of the world. Well, he ain't even enjoying this shit. He's still figuring out new ways to oppress us for the paper he gave us.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't even enjoying his own riches, but that's cool. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. He don't know how to enjoy it. He's too busy He's too busy not being satisfied with his own goods. All right, that's what it means when it says he that. Here's the next verse. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. All right, that's what it means to be envious of yourself. You're not satisfied with your lot, and that's the judgment that was given to the serpent to go upon his belly. Just eat him. And now it's got to the point where he's fucking up his own people. All right, so they can't even. They've been fucking him over. But now they can't even enjoy it. Now they feeling no pressure and we feel it. Because to be honest, bitch, tell your son and daughter to move to the fucking hood. They can still get a crib at the price you want them to get. But they want to have that. They want to have that separation still, man.
Right.
You know, they want to be able. They want to be able to look down upon us because they got a better deal. But now you oppressed just like us.
That's right.
Because the devil is in fucking power, man. And when the devil's in control, the people mourn.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
and white privilege isn't really working for you unless you're among the elites.
Yeah.
What they
It's
say
not
is
really working.
pull yourself up by your bootstrap.
That's what you thought would work, man. But at the end of the day, hey, this is the wicked and power. Ecclesiastes 4:13. 4:13. Better is a poor and wise child than an old foolish king who will no more be admonished. And we know that's Esau. All right. Well, the next verse. Out of princely come to reign. That's after the 1,000 years he came out the Caucasus Mountains, the caves. Now he's in rulership. Right. Whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. So if you wasn't the actual king in this place, the elites, all right, the 1%ers, you was always doomed. Even you an Edomite, you was always doomed to fall to the bottom, man.
That's right.
This man's a greedy devil.
And even in that sergeant's report or that SG report, the guy in that video, you know, there's a portion in it. It just was so long, I didn't want to, you know, kill all our time. But even in that video, he talks about them being about the Dukes of Edom.
Right.
So they know. They know. But then they try to, you know, then they talk about he's trying to, of course, blaming it on, you know, the issues.
All that.
As if they not Edom too. You know?
I got something for you. This is it's Isaiah the 14th chapter. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. I'm gonna start up with verse 3. It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear.
Started 1 and 2.
Kind.
Started 1 and 2.
Kind.
Because you got Edom. That's like we just said. You know, trying to call out the Edomites. You're the Edomites.
Right.
And we said that, you know, plenty of times. We pointed out that the small headers are pointing at the Christians, and the Christians are pointing at them. They all accusing each other of being Edom.
That's right.
Nobody wants to be here.
Right.
This is Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of
Can
Jacob.
somebody get that in the NIV as well, or another version of Bible shop? Read it right behind them, Bible shop.
Isaiah 14.
14, 1 and 2. Yeah, I want to hear it in a couple different, NLT, the NIV.
And I hate the second verse because they're 1 and 2 go together anyway. They're doing the other translation. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
And this is what they're afraid of, and that's why they're so worried about these UFOs and UAPs.
That's right.
Because those vehicles, those heavenly vehicles, all right, not aliens, are going to be the catalyst which sets this all in motion.
That's right.
When they show up, all this stuff happens shortly thereafter. So that's why they're trying to lie about them and control the narrative. But go ahead, continue.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
They shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
That's right.
All right. So when the scriptures show you that the first shall be last, and the last shall be first, it is beyond obvious who's first in this society. All right, which is why they're complaining, because they're losing that first place status.
That's right.
Okay, they made them first place status in 1681 when they created whiteness and created their separation, because Jake was getting along with Esau in early colonial America. All right, with Gad, and then you had Gad, Judah, the Edomites, and you had Moab as well in colonial America in the beginning. They were all getting along fine, but then you have this guy. But then you have the wealthy that was a lot of them were indentured servants. Then you have the wealthy that was cleaning them, taking all their money from them, and then there was a rebellion called Bacon's Rebellion, and that's what set this whole thing in motion. And so the elites decided, well, we got to do something to stop this from happening. So they granted whiteness to the people that was like them. And they gave these poor crackers, these poor whites, that these newly found people that was called white, they gave them the ability to have front of the line privileges over all the other nations, especially Jake, especially over Jake.
That's right.
Jake couldn't marry their women anymore, which goes to prove you that even back then, Jake was getting with the snow back then.
That's
right. Because the women that were coming over, because in the report and in the history that I learned about it, it clearly told you that the women that were coming over from Europe were choosing to be with the Negroes, and they were choosing to be with the Native men. They weren't really, and so Esau was sitting up there mad with a hard dick and no woman, and so he wrote all these laws that prevented his women. Right? He said, well, if they're now that they're at the end of the line, if you marry them, then you inherit, you forfeit your right, brother. You forfeit your right privilege. And so go ahead.
Problem shot. This is back in Sirach 14. I went to the next verse. 7, and if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Now we're at the end, and you crackers are realizing, but because you don't love your fucking neighbors either. We watched the Edomite go kill another set of Edomites over shoveling snow, just 2 years ago.
Yeah, shot him down.
Yeah.
Put back inside, got a bigger gun, shot him again.
Right. There's no sense of brotherhood amongst Edomites. You already know that. Now you saying that he's playing at the end. You only got that extra privilege because you was finna ride against your leaders, man. It wasn't time. So Esau like, let's give them some comfort, put them over niggas, give them some goodies, and we still get privilege off of them. We can still get gain off of them.
That's right.
Make money off of them. We can use them. Now you realize you ain't shit, just like they feel about us.
That's right. And they're using.
And all of a sudden, we're the 99%ers and we're all together in this, brothers.
It's the rich versus the
It's
poor.
us against the rich.
When they went from the silver standard into the petrodollar, it actually bankrupt America and subjugated everybody. Esau from the top on down, from the rooter to the tutor, you became dead slaves. Every time you see the debt clock, and why do they say per citizen? Now your baby comes $80,000 in debt. That's why they crying.
Damn, just like, you know what? And that goes to show you that the credit system is all a joke. It shows you that it is all. It's just like let me let you think about something. Let you think about this. They have something called, and it links up right with what you just said with the debt thing. How they systems are all fraudulent and fake and phony. All right, and seriously disingenuous, because you got that thing going on, but then you got something called that Esau invented called a blood quantum. And through that, cause somebody put in a picture in the group me, they said this is what Esau mean when he said you have Cherokee, and they had a picture of half
Oh,
of
yeah.
Esau,
the Grand
another
Cherokee.
side of a Grand Cherokee vehicle. Right? But the point being is that they have this thing called a blood quantum where you 7th, 8th, or 9th,
Right.
10th, and 1/3 and all this other bullshit. All right, and then so if you good to go. You get to be a you straight up white guy, white chick, what so called, and you get all the benefits that the natives get. But if you got one drop of Negro blood,
You're a nigga.
so wait a minute, how does that work?
Right.
Because and then it makes you understand how disingenuous it was and how they took a lot of Gadites and labeled them as Negroes.
Right.
And there was nothing wrong with that. But we see what the position they had put the Negro in. So they took real bloodline Gadites and removed their status from them and put Edomites in their place. And supposedly with DNA, well, you got 7th, 8th, and you're good to go, brother. You can get the stamp of approval, you can get a loan, and and this certain law and that law,
And to get money.
and they get a check from the casinos and everything.
And from the government.
But if you got one drop of black blood, dude, no, that doesn't count. But you just said it was a blood quadrant. You see what I mean?
But
It's a measurement by blood, but you're not allowed. So they full of shit. And quite frankly, you are who you are according to your father. Bring that out, brother.
What was it called? A $5 Indian?
The Dawes Roll. It was called a Dawes Roll, and basically, in that if you gave them a $5 silver coin, and you got to sign your name on that roll, and then that put your family. Basically, it took white people and made them Native Americans, and so you got a lot of them running around. They show up at the powwows. You never see them do the dance. They ain't got it. They show up to the powwows. They put on the Indian dress. And they just sit around, and they collect checks.
Right? And
then they try to prevent real bloodline Negroes who are really Gadites and Reubenites. They try to prevent. It's like they still with the Black Seminoles. There's certain sects of them that they still want to deny their native heritage.
Yeah, I seen a guy on YouTube trying to get his cut. So he was calling I forget what it's called, the Native American Society.
Yeah.
And they don't deal with him no more. His name is known no matter what district in the country he calls. They knows who he is.
And he even brought receipts and evidence
That's
proving his
proven,
bloodline. Yeah, I remember that. But go ahead, brother. You can break it down.
No, that was basically it. He was calling him. He got the proof, but because he ain't on this list, that's the Elder Malcolm mentioned, the Dawes Roll, which these Edomites, these fake Gadites, all right, they on this list and they oppressing this man. They won't let him get his cut because they know that his proof is legit. They don't got that same proof. They got this list that the U.S. government set up. Hey, this Michael too that you told me to grab.
Well, guys took money to let them just come sign it because
Yeah.
they found out all the benefits that they're gonna get free college, they're gonna get land, they're gonna get money from casinos. Hey, well let me sign that roll, and that's exactly what they
That's
did.
that new movie coming on Apple Plus, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yep.
When they married the Osage tribe. What happened was the Gadites of Oklahoma, the Osage tribe, they got Pacific land of Oklahoma. It's like 1900s.
Had oil on it, right?
Yeah, Esau didn't want I don't want that damn land.
Because you couldn't do
Right, but
anything.
they found the oil
on it.
Underneath it.
And then Gad somehow they got that oil, they got wealthy. And Esau, this is why you go by the seed of your father, you don't go by your mother.
Gad was dancing around that oil.
Dancing around that oil.
It was like, yes.
And Esau said, okay, since they go by the mama, let's go marry some of they women to prove you out to see your father. Esau know that.
Right.
But our people, they so stuck on this matriarchal stuff. That's how they got taken over, because you went by that matriarchal system.
Right.
You disobeyed
They
the
followed the way of the white man.
And
they
they
trusted
got
the
your
enemy.
money in your land.
Yeah, they ended up killing off all those family members and all the people who related and all the tribal members that had a connection to that oil. They all started dying mysteriously.
Yeah.
And I think what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio plays in it.
Yeah,
and there's the FBI agents that come down to try to investigate all the deaths of these natives,
Right.
because it was all the natives who were, and literally, long story short, the Edomites now own the oil.
Yep.
Right.
So
That's
right,
what happened. You go by
and they
your
running
mama.
around in a choker like mine.
Yep.
Give me that choker, brother. They run around in chokers with paint on their face, pretending to be us.
Right.
That's what they doing, man.
Yep.
All right.
That's what happened when you go by the mother, not the father. Esau race your line out, man.
I got a precept.
Go ahead, brother.
And this is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. It says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." And that's how we end up falling each and every time.
Yeah, Donald Trump did that, man. That's how he was able to get that land to put his fucking casino on and whatnot. He claimed it on his mom's side.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I remember that. And whatnot.
We still got that Isaiah 14.
Yeah. Vodka shot.
This is a lot more in it. You want to hit that in the first two in the NLT?
You hit the NLT?
Because remember, this event that he's going to read about, this event comes forth after the return of the Lord, he's going to come back in chariots. What they erroneously and fraudulently call UFOs and UAPs. Go ahead, brother. Read it. Bring it up.
This Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 in the NLT. But Yahweh will have mercy on the descendants of Jacob. He will choose Israel as his special people once again. He will bring them back to settle once again in their own land. And people from many different nations will come and join them.
Those are Israel. Yeah, that's Israel.
The scatter. The scatter that is real quick before he goes any further. Baruch 2 and 30.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 30.
And it reads
as follows. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people." But well, you know what? I'm going to hit verse 29.
You got to.
It says, "If they will not hear me," they, the Israelites, will not hear me, "surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them." And it says, we are counted like the heathen, because now we have taken hold of their ways and their customs and their, traditions and so on and whatnot. But that's the Israelites that's waking up. That's a part of the elect that's now, coming out of those mindsets of where we were scattered all over the world, right, and coming back to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and grasping hold on who we truly are. So that's what that scripture is going into.
This back at Isaiah 14, getting right back to that point I was at. It says,
We'll start from the top.
From the top? Yeah. All right, cool. Isaiah 14 and 1 in the NLT, it says, "But Yahweh will have mercy on the descendants of Jacob. He will choose Israel as his people once again."
Special people.
Mm-hmm. It says, "He will bring them back to settle once again in their own land. And people from many different nations."
It really should be Israelites.
Right.
Instead of people.
That's
It
right.
should
Right.
be
Listen, that's Esau trying to
Blow the line.
there.
Blow the line.
Good. But if you go read the precepts, you find out the Lord says, and what the limitations
The
is not.
precepts will give you the understanding that it's talking about Israelites only.
That's right.
Clearly.
That's right.
It says, "From many different nations will come and join them there and unite with the people of Israel."
And that's the scattered abroad that the Lord said that the Israelites would be scattered from one land to the other land, according to the four corners of the earth.
Well, just real quick, if I may, this Revelation chapter 5, verse 8, it says, when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, "Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation."
So out of all the family lines, out of all the languages, Jacob's mixed in between them. The Lord said we have a covert that's in Moab, the Chinese. You got Jacob there, from the mountains to Beijing and all that shit. You got Jacob over there in Australia. You got Jacob over here in Europe. You got Jacob here in Canada, in America, South America. Jacob's been scattered across the whole planet. And no matter where we are, the Most High is overturning that heathen cultures that we have been inundated with, and which is makes us strangers. The book of Obadiah, I think about the 10th, 11th, 12th verse, it says, when they came in, when the foreigners came into our land, took us and brought us to another land, we became, he says, David, that's when we became strangers.
Right.
So when you go back to Isaiah 14th chapter, there are some strangers in the Bible that are Edomites. There are some strangers in the Bible that are Israelites who were taken away from their culture, learned a whole new culture, a whole new language. That's why Nehemiah was beating Israelites and killing Israelites at one point for subjugating their children, and their children spoke half in the language of Ashdod and could not speak in the Hebrew. And when you take away our culture, you totally to change the Israelite from an Israelite to a heathen, to a stranger.
Yeah,
I got a precept. It's Psalm chapter 106, verse start from 35. It says, "They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works, and they served their idols, which they were snared."
So when you're gonna learn their works, now we got everybody up there trick or treating. Everybody doing hang on a mistletoe. All right, they're wearing they're not wearing ancient Israelite birthday to, you know what I'm saying? They're not wearing ancient Israelite garments. Now they're wearing dookie booty shorts. All right, we have totally. You can see the prophets of looking and like, who are these people?
Right.
The vision that the Lord was showing. The Lord showed them us now today.
Looking and acting like the heathens. It looked like a duck, quack like a duck. You a duck.
That's right. Man, that got to be crazy saying black bitch walking around. Saying the dude walking around with what they call Gucci Daddy shorts.
Yes.
That's
why Edwards was gonna say certain. Like I said, who gonna save me in these days? What the hell is going on?
So let me finish this Revelation 5. So back in this Revelation 5 and 9, it says, "And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book, to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us." Keep that in mind. Thou hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, right? Jump into this Luke chapter 1, verse 68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people." So when we talk about the redeemed us by God out of thy blood, that's Yahushua, that has redeemed his people, starting off with the elect of the nation of Israel. But it goes on in this Luke chapter 1, verse 68 again. It says, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, our Lord and Savior Yahushua."
That's right.
"As he spake by the mouth of the holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies."
That's right. And so where Jake at? I don't care where Jake got scattered around on the planet. They're in the next, under the vibration, under the hand and power of their enemies.
And that Isaiah 14 is about to go into enemies.
Yeah, exactly. And how that now they're falling now. Now the other nations are rising up. It goes into a whole bunch.
That's it. So keep in mind that we are redeemed out of every kindred, tongue, and people and nation, because we, the Israelites, were scattered to every kindred, tongue, people, and nation, which are our enemies, but we have become like them. And that's why in that Colossians 1 and 21, he said, hey, you can be redeemed back in good graces to the Father, you know, because you were enemies in your mind by wicked works. When we were doing the works of the heathen, well, we Israelites became like heathen and also became enemies to the Most High God. But there are natural enemies of the Most High God, which are these heathen nations, which have us in subjection, where we're scattered to all over the world, but we're going to be redeemed and then ultimately physically saved from being under their hands.
That's right. One thing,
because the Christians, they try to use that scripture in Matthew 28 when House has said, go teach the nations. That's talking about Israelites.
That's it.
Genesis 35, 10, 11.
That's
The
it.
nations come out. And then you go to Genesis, I think 46 or 47, where Jacob told Job's son that Ephraim shall become many nations and stuff. It's not talking about the heathen nation.
Right. Well, it says, talking the 13th chapter, the first 3 verses, go amongst the heathen because Israel is scattered amongst the heathens. I got one to back you up, y'all. This St. John 11:49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that whole nation perish not, that nation being the Jews. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahweh should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Come on.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Who was scattered abroad?
What scripture was that, St. Benjamin?
St. John 11, starting at verse 49.
Right.
Add
And
into my little precept here.
and who was scattered abroad? Well, James chapter 1, verse 1. It reads, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Scattered where?
Scattered abroad. Greeting. You see? So, you got something?
Yeah, and we still got more.
And we still got that
Isaiah 14.
Well, let's finish that Isaiah.
Yeah, let that, finish that Isaiah and then let these precepts come out.
We ended the brother got it. He hit the 2. I want to jump down because I just want to hit a couple of precepts.
Yeah, so he was reading the NIV.
No, he's reading the
NLT. That's
NLT.
NLT because I got the NIV.
Oh, okay. And I want to hear that one too.
And then
You
the
had the G.
Well, let's hear the.
I want to hear all 3 of them.
Because we heard that first one. That was a little controversial.
No, he didn't.
He didn't finish.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, just read it through. No interruption. Just read it through.
Who's it?
This Isaiah 14:2 NLT. The nations of the world will help Yahweh's people to return, and those who come to live in their. It says, the nations of the world will help Yahweh's people to return, and those who come to live in their land will serve them.
Right. It was a little funky. It was some funkiness up in there. But keep reading. Keep reading.
It says, those who captured Israel will them. It says, those who captured Israel will themselves be captured.
There we go. So that cuts out any confusion what you read before.
That's right.
And it says, and Israel will rule over its enemies.
And that's where I was going with Yahushua delivering us, the Israelites, from our enemies. And we're going to ultimately rule over our enemies. It says those who have captured Israel will themselves be captured, and Israel will rule over its enemies. All right, who we were in captivity to when they ruled over us and they taught us their ways. That's it.
On the menu.
That's it. And we became like, the heathen nation. So we became enemies to the Most High God. But when we regenerate, when we reconstitute, when we return, all right, then we're back in good graces with Yahweh and Yahushua if we're part of that elect and show that we're part of the elect.
Hey, hit those first 2 with the NLT. The NLT?
I got the
NIV.
Real quick, it only says nations because of that word people. That's still talking about Israel.
That's right.
But Isaiah 14:1 out of the NIV, it says, the Lord Yahweh will have compassion on Jacob. Once again, he will choose Israel and will settle them in their own land. Foreigners will join them and unite with the descendants of Jacob. Nations will take them.
In that Ephesians, it talked about how you are no more foreigners and strangers, but fellow citizens with the saints.
That's right.
Because in that Ephesians 2:1, it says, hey, you know, when you were in the world doing these things, he had to basically quicken us, all right, who were dead in trespasses and sins when you walked according to the course of this world. And then we were like strangers. But if we return, It says you are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints. Go ahead, brother.
It says, nations will take them and bring them to their own place. And Israel will take possession of the nations and make them male and female servants. Come on, Yahweh's land. They will make captives of their captives.
Right, so like, just make note, it's two separate, like in the KJV, it's two separate sets of strangers in verse 1 and verse 2. It's two separate sets of foreigners. And another scripture to prove that is Exodus, the 12th chapter. When you read through for the Passover, it talks about the one set of strangers, which are Israelite foreigners, that got to keep the Passover, but they can't do it until they circumcised. You got the second set of strangers, the actual heathens, who cannot keep the Passover at all.
That's right.
Because stranger means foreigner. An Israelite that's from another land, Obadiah tells you, we became strangers. All right, and the actual heathens are strangers because they ain't nothing for us. It says Abraham was a stranger in what land was he in? The land of the Amorites, I think. But it says Abraham was a stranger in the land. The point is, an Israelite that's not in his homeland is a stranger.
Yeah.
All right, and the heathens are already strangers because they ain't got no portion with us.
That's right.
It's called context.
That's right, brother. Now, jump down. Well, I'll jump down in English because I want to read 3 and I was gonna go to 10, but I know I just jumped down. Went back up. It's like it. And it should come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give the rest.
What you read?
Isaiah 14:3.
Okay.
You said it in English, somebody just like it.
So what did you mean?
I meant the KJV. That's what I meant. It's like and from the and I shall come. It shall come to pass in that day. It's like and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon. And this goes in with the title of the lesson, right?
All right, well, that's not the salvation is Israel getting delivered, man. Getting brought out of captivity, getting our land back.
Right.
You know,
that's the greater than the first delivery.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the rest of Hebrews 4, us getting our land.
Matter of fact, we're gonna switch over to that. How we getting delivered?
That's right.
You know,
that thou
start bringing them scriptures.
That's right. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hinder it.
Yeah.
He was over here like the elder said, looking like she's a star-eyed, worried little monster. She Esau is loose. I remember it goes back when I was driving Lyft and Uber. I had a set of Edomites that just came from the casino, and I was driving around to their palatial mansion. All right, and the wife was so upset and cussing him out over losing $2,000 at the casino. Now, to me, losing $2,000 at the casino, I'm devastated. I'm crying. I'm sick. Well, she was, but he wasn't. Which let you know at home in the bank accounts, even though they're looking pretty, they had the whole big the drive-in with the fancy drive-in, the big
at the circle driveway.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're all with the individual.
You drive in and come out the other side.
With the individual brick, not the cement. Okay, and they got the whole two-door looking family estate. And she said, "But it was $2,000." I know, but it's okay. And I'm just ear hustling like, man, why y'all tripping? Y'all got this big ass house. Y'all got what? No, they don't. All right, and I learned from brothers that used to be in the.
They niggardly too, man.
That's it.
Because I had a client that did the same shit. I checked on it, you know, because I used to train her and I knew her first. I used to train her first, and then he came around and they got married and shit, you know. But it was over 100,000 because they got that great big old wine cellar down in the very room we used to train at. It's like a 6 foot tall ceiling. I mean, glass wall. You remember that? Matter of fact, thinking about it, remember the movie we watched with the dude was fighting with the Karambits, and he kicked him into
Ray Redemption 2.
Ray. Remember when he got kicked into that wine thing, and all the wine was in, and it was refrigerated with the glass. They had one of those, and it was just as big as that in their house. And they were having an argument because he spent $200,000 on wine when he was only supposed to spend $100,000 on wine. And she got mad because he spent another $100,000, but he was like, "But it's my money."
Damn.
He said, "I'm right," and she, she really belittled him. And later on, I checked. I said, "Don't ever, yeah." I said, "Don't ever do that shit to him again in front of me. Don't do that shit to him, man. Even though he's a damn, piece of shit Amalekite, but it was the principle of it. I said, you don't do that. You don't do no shit like that, Because she did it right. She's like punking him right in front of me.
That's right.
Beautiful. And he did. When he walked away, when she walked, he was like, "Fuck. I told you I should have went younger. I should have married younger."
Yeah.
Married young.
But yeah, I'm gonna jump down and hit the.
With the money he had, he could have did that. He could have had him a young hot thing. Not even in college. I would say not be snatched up before she went to college, so she couldn't be empowered and run her mouth and all that shit.
That's right.
And and she could have been a living home hot broad, that just took care. Exactly. Instead of this loudmouth plastic, chick who done banged everybody, every chick in the neighborhood, she done already banged all the dormant, all the rich,
Damn.
Yeah, he getting all them leftovers and shit.
Crazy.
And the attitude that come with it.
This is verse 10.
And she ended up divorcing him and taking a big shitload of his money anyway. That's how she got rich. She kept marrying rich motherfuckers and then divorced them.
All they that speak and say unto thee, this is verse 10, Isaiah 14:10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? We've been, America has been made a reputation, has ever been reputed as the police of the world. Obama
couldn't even speak against America in times past. You couldn't, and knowing that even when they knew and know that they were wrong.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? But you couldn't speak against. You couldn't. How dare you to point out my wrongness?
Hey, but you see what what the president of the Philippines did? He said, "How you going to tell me how to treat people and the way you treated the Negro in your country?"
He's not the only one. There's a bunch of other leaders that said that.
Especially after America dropped the hydrogen bomb on Hiroshima.
And that's a big that subject has rolled back around because of this Oppenheimer movie. Yeah, let's finish that, and I'm gonna get his version. Then we're gonna hit that Zechariah, and we're gonna get ready to. Yeah, he got it, bro. He hold it.
The remainder of verse 2, it says, "They will make captives of their captives and rule over their oppressors." Verse 3, Isaiah 14:3. On the day the Lord Yahweh gives you relief from your suffering and turmoil, and from the harsh labor forced on you. And it's funny because in that Revelation 7, it says these that came out of great tribulation. That's how you know that it's talking about Jacob. It says, "You will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon, how the oppressor has come to an end, how his fury has ended. The Lord Yahweh has broken the rod of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers, which in anger struck down peoples with unceasing blows, and fury subdued nations with relentless aggression."
Relentless aggression. I mean, that's what one nation, all right, that it has Esau not touched and put his tentacles in. Esau runs the world. How many military bases are over the planet, man?
Over 800.
And then if you want to really go into Esau Edom, the nature of Esau Edom, he's divided. But even his division, he has conquered the whole world. You got Esau Edom with the American side, you got Esau Edom on the Russian side. All right? And each one of them has had all their allies, which guess what? Every motherfucking nation is a part of it. So this is also Esau's queen. Yeah.
Wow.
It says, verse 7, Isaiah 14:7 out of the NIV. All the lands are at rest and at peace.
When you all get taken down, that's when the world will actually have peace. It won't happen until you are taken down and out of power.
The basis of men.
That's it. That's it.
How is yours?
The type of man that calls a person a terrorist in their own land and their own home for trying to defend it.
Man.
Right.
But we will never forget 9/11.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of them soldiers are proud of it. You got that what's her name, Greenwood, the big-breasted, big booty Edomite chick that was a medic over there, and she's always making fun of that shit because people call her on it. And there's a video short of her saying, she puts on her military gear and acts, and she says, "Hey, but they're terrorists hiding behind the civilians you know, shooting at us, and then she plays the role of America. She's got on the pilot's helmet. She said, "Oh yeah, we got this," and then you just hear all the machine guns going off. So basically, they're shooting through the civilians to kill the terrorists. Right? When you're the fucking terrorist. All right. And then when people come on the comment board, she just well, whatever, or she talks shit to them. But that's the and you wonder why your society is falling, why you're going down, why the curse is coming for you. All right, but go ahead and read that one, brother.
What version you got?
GNT.
He's got it in the GNT,
the Good News Translation. This is Isaiah 14 and 1 in the GNT. It says, "The Lord will once again be merciful to His people Israel and choose them as His own. He will let them live in their own land again."
Okay, I don't like that scripture.
And
go ahead and try to say it's already happened.
Right.
Yeah,
which is a lot, because there's no peace on earth. And all nations aren't going to. Matter of fact, they're doing everything against the Bible. They got the pink city and all other shit going on. And the who walked the bam, the people were dropping, and then constant wars. Where's the peace and safety alone? Go ahead.
Plenty weapons of war on the earth.
Exactly. There will be no more weapons of war on the earth when Israel goes back home. So they're
just
not
shit.
They're not fulfilling prophecy. Go ahead.
Isaiah 14 and 2, it says, so like it finished in verse 1. He will let them live in their own land again, and foreigners will come and live there with them. Many nations will help the people of Israel return to their land, which the Lord gave them, and there the nations will serve Israel as slaves. Those who once captured Israel will now be captured by Israel, and the people of Israel will rule over those who once oppressed them.
Wow. See that this is the setting up of the kingdom of heaven. Point blank period. Which is going to, and with that curse that's coming for their ass.
That's
the best one in my opinion.
Second to me, KJ, we hit hard. But that one just said read the last part again, damn. That was so hard, bro.
It says, and there the nations will serve Israel as slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Those who once captured Israel will now be captured by Israel, and the people of Israel will rule over those who once oppressed them.
Right, and when you read the curse, that's the point one. Them that oppressed them, and the curse say, wherever we're scattered, we will only be oppressed. So that's every fucking nation, every heathen nation on the planet, has oppressed us. They will all be enslaved by us, man. Every single one. They say we will only be oppressed unless we were scattered in, man.
Every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I got a scripture. Okay.
We get ready to get on the chariots, brother.
This is Sirach. All right, this is Sirach 25 and 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. We watching them fall.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
matter of fact, that's what gets me through the day when I'm in my worst. I remember that I'm literally getting the living. I'm getting to see what I prayed for and asked for. I said, Lord, if I don't make it, let me see them fall. And the Lord is allowing me to see them fall, man. And it's
that's that revelation. This is the faith, the patience, the faith of the saints.
Yeah.
And what that word patience means, the ability to endure trouble, man.
That's right.
So us knowing that the Lord is bringing these devils down, they finna get put in slave, that helps us endure.
Seeing them suffer.
Yeah.
When I see them images of what's going on in fucking Philly, when I see all the homeless in Oakland and San Francisco, and I used to kick in San Francisco. Man, I used to get bitches. Man, that was my spot, man.
Right.
Man, hey, look, man, when you was a straight man in Cisco in the late 80s, early 90s, you was that dude. I was that dude. Man,
dog with game.
it was only popular. I'm telling you. But to get to see them, man, it's beautiful.
Yep, matter of fact, can I bring this out?
Yes, sir.
Baruch chapter 2, verse 32. It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity. And this is what the hopeful elect is doing now. And part of that praising is also praising because we see the fall of our enemies that has us in captivity.
That's right.
So it says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord.
That's right.
And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with the oath unto their fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it.
So they're saying that the Lord's not going to keep his oaths.
That's right.
By you know, trying to make it different, man. That, you know, that the Lord is definitely, his city changes nothing.
That's it. It says, and they shall be lords of it. Lord, what does a lord do? A rule. All right, they rule. Who are we going to rule over? Those who had us in captivity.
The citizens of the world.
That's it.
When someone refers to you, when they come and they take a knee, or bow their head to you and say, my Lord, so and so, so and so.
Exactly.
My Lord. That means that they're being ruled over.
Exactly.
And that's where we're headed. That is the kingdom of heaven. You cannot get the kingdom of heaven without that happening. Point blank, period.
That's it.
All right.
So it says, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
Yeah, so we get ready to go home, man, because the chariots get ready to come wreck shop. That's right. And then they're gonna pick up those who are gonna be somebody hold wisdom of Solomon 5. You go ahead and bring out that Zechariah, brother. You know.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, and we start from top.
And this is another reason why they're trying to control the narrative about the chariots and call. Even my son told me his cousin, one of his cousins, her daddy's an Edomite. You know, my son's her mother's outside of his mother, her mother's brothers and sisters, they are rich. You know, and they didn't give her inheritance because she's such a fuck up.
Okay.
But you know, and they would, you know, always, you know, calling my sons that they crazy, they in a cult and whatever, you know, and all that bullshit. But now they all asking these questions. You know,
That's how it goes.
they all asking these questions because they're starting to see what they've been hearing all along. You know,
And just how a couple years ago, when the whole vid came on, right after that, the lockdowns and everything, all the brothers had the testimony of their phones blowing up for people they had preached for the last previous 5-10 years, whatever. Oh man, what was that you said again? But then after that, they was all trying to be an Israelite again then, and then majority of them fell the fuck out back into the world. Now when we talk about the CBDC, the chariots coming, and all these things coming, it's the same thing. As soon as they do these new lockdowns, these new restrictions, our phone's gonna ring again. But guess what? Hey, it's too late now. We ain't gonna be.
well, eventually they're gonna be looking for us, and we're gonna be looking for them.
That's right.
Because the fishermen will become hunters sooner than you believe. But go ahead and bring those scriptures out.
I'm starting from the top. It's Zechariah 5:1. It says, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. It says in verse 3.
Which sounds like that tic tac, you know, chariot that they that they were all freaking out over. But go ahead, brother.
Yep, verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it.
Real quick, Exodus 21:16. Somebody, because Esau stole us and he stole the lands and he removed the landmarks. He did everything that Yahweh ordered not to be done.
Right. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
He gonna be surely put to death. All right.
Go suck to be him.
All right. Yeah, and his death will not be a pleasant one or a quick one.
That's right.
It's gonna be very grievous. All right.
Finish it up. Yep, bringing it back. Zechariah 5:3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it.
Well, there it is, man. So the Lord is getting ready to come, and these chariots, who they ignorantly and fraudulently calling UFOs and UAPs, is getting ready to come wreck shop, man. And then they're going to be delivering up the Lord's people.
Yeah,
then they're going to know who the chosen is. And even these wicked Israelites who are not following the gospel of Yahweh Shai, and trying to come up some other way and doing their own thing, they're gonna realize it too who are the Lord's chosen, man. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs, the master that Zechariah, Proverbs 3, verse 33. It says, "The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked."
Ooh.
It says, "But he blessed the habitation of the just."
Yeah. In the house of the wicked. Who was the wicked? Esau, Edom. Right. Right. And they they complaining now. They have no idea. And like I always tell them when on the line when they complain, well, what are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, bro?
Burn.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I always give them the same answer. Go do some coke. Go
Right.
get some hoes. Go get some hoes. Go eat some pork, some shrimp, some crab. Go do some fag shit. Go do the shit you do.
Right.
All right? Because this is it.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to do any of that anymore.
Right.
So you might as well party like it's 1999.
In the kingdom, the scriptures talk about how wicked deeds shall bear no rules, but righteous deeds shall be of force. Of force. Right? But you want to hit that Wisdom of Solomon?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation."
It's funny because when you start watching these TikToks, these Instagrams, and with the advent of the cellular phone, that's all across the planet, everybody's filming everything.
Jerry.
So now you have 8 billion people on the planet, and you have millions of videos going up of sightings, and then it would trigger this is they're weird. What the fuck? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh! And
What is that?
Exactly. And it's just one.
The aliens.
Right. And it's just,
oh shit, bro, we getting invaded.
right. And it's just one chariot. The Lord said that from as lightning shines from the east to the west, that's how many chariots. It's going to be chariots littering the sky. All right. Isaiah 31 and 5, as birds flying, so as birds flying, so the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. Who preserve who? The Israelites. He's going to save the hopeful righteous elect. But everywhere else that the Lord is bringing up his righteous elect, especially over here in the land of Babylon the Great, it's going to be nothing but destruction. All right. So that makes me think of that movie Independence Day. Right. When the terrorists came and people came up to the top of the building and had signs like "Save me, pick me," and then majority of people were sitting there trying to run away. All right, only the hopeful righteous elect were being saved. All you motherfuckers are about to be destroyed, man.
Yeah.
Right.
So it says, "And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for."
That's right. And so, 2 more scriptures. Yours is gonna be the last one, brother. Somebody get that 2nd Ezra 6, 16 to 73.
We got it. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 73. And it reads. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire."
Yeah. So we're going through it. We're being tried, and we're gonna find out who the Lord's chosen is, man.
That's right.
Now I'm not gonna nowhere speak and be bold and say I know I'm one of the men of the Lord, man. But I know I got a much better chance than them cats in ISUPK and IUIC.
Right.
That much I know. I can say that with confidence.
They believe in the nigga God.
You know, right. And especially ISUPK with that nigga God. Well, IUIC because they believe in Jesus Christ. You know, Jesus Christ.
That's what
You know, they might as well invite the Israelite to their next Passover, man. So, you know, bring the scripture out, brother.
This is Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, "If any man have an ear, let him hear." Verse 10, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword."
Must.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
And this is one of the most powerful scriptures in the Bible All right, it really is, man, because it tells you that it tells you so much. All right, and the fact that it said that the faith and the patience of the saints is to wait to enslave those who wrong them. That's what they're waiting for. That's in the last book of the Bible. Close the chapter. All right. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, all honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Abba,